Hello, Cancer. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Kaylee. Thank you so much for being here. I'm back with a new moon message for you guys. This new moon is going to be intense. I mean, when in the last year have we gone through a new moon that wasn't intense? Like, really? Seriously. So this new moon is happening in Aquarius. For you, Cancer, I made some notes before I decided to start filming. Genius, I know. I don't know why I didn't do it sooner, but Cancer, this is happening in your 8th house. Okay? So expect a new cycle for you in regards to inheritances, death, rebirth, the occult. You could very well end up going through a crisis, or receive something to do with your community resources. So like your shared resources with your partner, as well as like investments and stuff like that, could very well go through some new cycle in that area. Some of the groups that you belong to, especially, yeah, you could very well find some new like occult groups. Please don't join any cults. No cults, okay? But like, maybe like an astrology group, or like, that card almost wanted to come out, or you know, maybe some new, maybe you'll join a new friend circle that their interest is in shamanism or tarot or something along those lines. Keep your eyes peeled. Damn. Okay, so quickly, these two popped out, so we'll touch on them briefly. The 7 of Wands and the 4 of Swords. This is like defending your position. This is taking a rest, taking a breather, rejuvenating yourself, like with meditation. Be careful you're not overly defensive. But also don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in. And make sure you're also taking time for yourself. So on the bottom of the deck, we have the 6 of Pentacles. Interesting. This is like charity, or charity is the first word that's popping to mind. We're gonna stick with that because actually your 3 cards are quite interesting. Something about equalizing the playing field. Oh, community resources. Could be access to new community resources. Okay, in the center, for you, my dear Cancers, we have the High Priest. This is also known as the Hierophant. It's the major arcana card for Taurus. This is about tradition, like traditional institutions. Anything from like marriage, like that's a very traditional union and institution, to just old, like the old ways of doing things. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then you got Strength, major arcana card for Leo. 2 major arcana. Wow. This is about harnessing our vital energies. Okay, so she doesn't subdue the wild boar. In other decks, it's a lion. She doesn't subdue it with force, right? She does it with a gentle hand. And then the King of Pentacles. Community resources, investments, Oh yeah, the 8th house is like sex. Like super intimate sex. Another name for this card is lust. Just putting that out there. Okay. So. Damn. Cancer. You could go through a transformation about how you think about some traditional institutions. Another thing about the High Priest or the Hierophant card is that this is the type of person that receives downloads and acts on them. They don't necessarily preach. They do. They do the things. Considering this is a Taurus card, and the King of Pentacles, this is another Taurus card, I'm definitely getting the sense of some increased value. My niece is home. I can hear her running through the house. That's so funny. Yeah, some increasement of value in some area. Yeah, and like 8th house, you could find like a really unconventional way of increasing your investments, or you could come into some kind of an inheritance. 6 of Pentacles sometimes speaks of that. But I feel like no matter what you end up coming across over this next month or so, no matter what it is, you have a lot of energy, a lot of power coming out that will help fuel you through this time. King of Pentacles is also really significant here because he talks about planning and having a long-term plan, not just short-term, but like making sure that you have like a retirement savings and like a retirement plan, at least, things of that nature. So this looks like it's going to be a very fruitful time for you, Cancer. And yeah, like making sure that you feel comfortable and secure in what you have, and in what you have and what you consume. Like your own security is really important, and I feel like you're going to go through a renewal about that stuff during this time. Oh, wow. Okay, so the rune I pulled for you is Yera. This is the harvest. If you pay attention to natural cycles of the world, right? And you act on things at the right time. Like you have patience and, plant seeds when it's time to plant seeds in the spring, and harvest the fields when it's time to harvest the fields. You're rewarded with the appropriate material abundance, right? So Yera tells you to have patience for when the right time to act is, and asks that you pay attention to those natural cycles so that you're not fighting against them. So when we fight against the natural cycles of the earth, we're not straight up just, we're not rewarded. Like if you plant your corn too late, you're not going to get very many ears of corn, if any at all, right? Just for example. It's also, Yera also talks about, cycles of time, but endings and beginnings of things. And it's important to remember, especially with this new moon happening in your 8th house, that an ending is a beginning. We have this like linear concept of time where like end, start, but that's not really true. There's a flow. We can't always see what's happening. We can't always like we don't have consciousness of what happens after death, for example. Speaking of eighth house. But that doesn't mean that there isn't something else going on. So beware of those themes, and maybe you'll become more conscious of those themes. I love this card. Man. Something about this screams inheritance. Like, if I had pulled Othala, that would have been like, but I didn't. I pulled Gera. So, yeah, just keep your heads up. Keep your head up, right? You did just go through some really major change and transformation in your 7th house, right? That's Capricorn. So now that this is in your 8th house, this is like some extreme change and transformation and renewal. So embrace it and allow the downloads to come. Allow the downloads to come and act at the right time, okay? That's what I got for you, Cancer. Peace.